You're in a privileged role. When you're a leader, you actually have a sacred right that's placed upon you. You're not just doing a job. When you clock in the leadership role, you're not there just to do a job, and I'll tell you why. Let me give you an illustration here about the leadership chair. This chair represents leadership, and I'm going to give you 5 powerful points that you will be exhibiting, whether you know it or not. Here's the first. The leadership chair is the leadership role, and there's power in the role. The power is not in you. It's in the role. It's in the chair. How do you know that? You sit in the chair. You say something, people listen to you. Let's say Peter over here, one of the team members says, we could get by with 20% less people. But you're in the chair and you say, we can get by with 20% less people. What are people going to say to Peter? They're going to say, you're funny. What are they going to say if they overhear you saying it? It's going to be serious. There is power in the chair, not because you are powerful, but because the role is powerful. This leadership chair is looked up to by everyone. How you look, how you sound, your attitude, what you exhibit in this chair is going to be noticed because the power is in the role. The power is in the chair. It's not in you. It's exhibited by you. You give it personification. You give it a character. You make it sound funny. You make it look good. You dress it up or dress it down, but the power is here in the chair. Therefore, everything you do trickles that way. And that's the second point. Nothing trickles up. It goes this way. If we go and assess a leader, we find out about that leader. But you know what? We don't even have to assess the leader. All we have to do is to assess the team members. What are their strengths? What are their weaknesses? And it's a reflection of what's here on this chair. Because the second point is nothing trickles up. Everything trickles this way. I've asked leaders sometimes to dress up a little bit. And just by doing that, it gives a different message. How this looks caused a change there. They said, oh, he or she cares. There's a more sense of professionalism because there's power in the chair and nothing trickles up. It all goes that way. Now, the third point is this. People perceive you differently than you perceive yourself. You think you're a certain way. You think about yourself a certain way, and they're seeing you differently, not because you have changed, but because you're in the chair. I have had people, you've seen it, you maybe have done it. When you've been promoted, you go, now I'm just one of you. I'm still just one of you. No, you're not. And in fact, if you think you are and try to be one of them, you actually do a disservice to them because people need leadership. They need to look up to leadership. They're not going to be looking to you as an equal. They're looking to you because you're in the chair. You have the power that's in the role. It's placed upon you. You cannot be one of them anymore. So you need to know that. And you need to be in the chair, not be one of them. That doesn't mean you can't care. That doesn't mean you can't relate. That doesn't mean you can't connect. But you're in the chair, and they need to look to you in the chair. Own the power that's in the chair. So the 3 points so far, there's power in the chair. You need to own that power. Nothing trickles up. It goes that way. So your attitude, your behavior, nobody can rise above your work ethics. Nobody can rise above your morale. Everything goes that way. And third, people see you differently than you see yourself, and you need to own that. Now here's another powerful point, and leaders sometimes don't like to hear this next one, but it is absolutely true. Because there's power in the role, because nothing trickles up, because people see you differently and they're all looking to you, because of all of that, a leader does not have the luxury of having a bad day. Now, I'm not talking about feeling bad or being sick. I'm talking about leading bad. When you're in this chair, you need to lead. Think of it this way. Let's say that there are 100 days in a row that go by, and those 100 days are filled with you being a great leader. You're leading right. You're leading good. You give people inspiration, motivation, and on the 101st day, You look to somebody and you derail them. You complain about them. You criticize them in public. You do a horrible thing to this person in public as the leader. And then there's another 100 days of awesome leadership. 201 days. What's the day that people are going to remember? You're right, that one. Because here's the deal. You are defined by your bad days, not your good ones. You're defined by your bad days. That day made all of the other ones unsafe. It's sort of like this. Let's say you came home and I'm standing in front of your house and I say, there's a rattlesnake in your house. And you say, where? And I say, I don't know. That makes the whole house unsafe. If I say it's in the pantry, then the house is safe, but the pantry is not. You've confined it so that people know what to do with it. If you have 201 days, this day makes the entire house unsafe. So you need to confine it by acknowledging it, owning it, and fixing it with apology and reminding people that you remember that you're not going to do it again. So there's power in the chair. Nothing trickles up. People see you differently than you see yourself. And you cannot have a bad day. If for some reason you feel like you can't lead, then don't, by not being in the chair. Put somebody else there temporarily, but you do not have the luxury of having a bad day. People, there's power in the chair. Now what that means is everything, and I mean everything that you see in your team, everything, the good and the bad, you cause, allow, or perpetuate. Now that's hard to swallow sometimes. Sometimes the leader will say, I have this person, they're not accountable. They've been doing this and this and this and this and this. And I say, how long has it been going? And they'll say, for months, sometimes years. And I say, well, then they're not the problem, you are. Because they don't have the power to change. You do. You have the tools, you have the power, you're in the chair, they're going to keep doing it. And when you learn how to deal with low performers, they either step up or step out, but you can deal with all low performance. You can deal with people who have problems on your team. You can do it in a few days, if not a few weeks, but you're the one that has to do it. So if something's been going on for a period of time, they're not the problem, you are. There is power in this chair. Now let's look at the reality of all of this with one more element. If there's power in the chair, everything's trickling down, all of that is true. You're influencing the people on your team, but you know what? You're not just influencing the people on your team. They don't leave you at work. If a person is treated poorly at work, they take you home. And that experience goes home. Their behavior, their bitterness, their anger goes home. Their stress goes home. When they kick the dog, you're kicking the dog. So count up how many people you influence. Count up how many people they influence. When you're in this chair, you're not just influencing this first round, you're influencing the second round and maybe the third one too. You're influencing the children of the people that you lead. You're influencing the spouses of the people that you lead. You're influencing the friends of the people that you lead. You have massive influence on the world in that chair. It's a privilege, and the beauty of it is all of the power I'm talking about can be influenced in a positive, beautiful, fantastic way. Be conscious, be aware, because I place on you the sacred mantle of leadership. It's not just a job. Use it for the good of those you serve.